The letter arrived on a quiet Monday morning. 82-year-old James Walker slowly walked down his driveway to check the mailbox, leaning on the same cane he had used since his knee injury in the war decades ago. Inside the envelope was a notice from the HOA. Lawn violation, fine, $500. James stared at the paper, confused. His lawn was small, but he did his best to keep it clean. The grass was a little uneven because his knees no longer allowed him to mow every week. But the HOA president, a woman named Carol Benson, didn't care. Later that afternoon, she knocked loudly on his door. "Mr. Walker, your yard looks terrible," she said sharply. "This neighborhood has standards." James tried to explain softly. "Ma'am, I'm doing the best I can." Carol crossed her arms. "Well, if you can't maintain your property, maybe you shouldn't live here." The words hit harder than the fine. What Carol didn't know was that James Walker wasn't just an old man with a messy lawn. 50 years ago, he had carried wounded soldiers across enemy fire during the war. He had earned medals for bravery and saved countless lives. But he never talked about it. The next morning, something unusual happened. 3 black SUVs slowly pulled into the neighborhood. Uniformed officers stepped out, followed by a local news crew. Neighbors began gathering outside, whispering. Then a decorated military general stepped out of the first vehicle and walked straight toward James's house. Carol watched from her porch, confused. The general saluted the old man standing on the lawn. "Sir," he said with deep respect, "the city is officially honoring you today for your heroism and your service to this country." Cameras flashed, neighbors clapped. James looked embarrassed, quietly adjusting his hat. Then the general turned to the crowd and said something that froze Carol in place. "This man risked his life for people he didn't even know. The least we can do is show him the respect he deserves." Later that week, the HOA quietly removed the fine. But the lesson stayed in the neighborhood much longer. Because sometimes the quietest neighbor on the block is the greatest hero you'll ever meet.